And it is day 15 of the war in West Asia. The United States has carried out strikes on an island which is crucial to Iran's oil trade. And this as Iran launched multiple missile salvos at Israel. Now, here we bring you some latest developments at this hour. According to Iraqi security sources, U.S. Embassy in Baghdad was targeted in a drone strike, following which smoke was seen rising from the complex. And this comes shortly after two Iran-backed fighters were killed in strikes on Iraq's capital. President Donald Trump says the U.S. bombed every military target on Iran's Kharg island. The U.S. president said he has chosen not to wipe out the oil infrastructure on the island for now for reasons of decency, but adds that he may reconsider this if Iran continues blocking ships from traversing the Strait of Hormuz. Now, Kharg Island is a 5-mile stretch of land off the Iranian coast. The critical island handles roughly 90% of the country's crude exports. And President Donald Trump has shared a new video on his Truth Social platform. Video shows strikes on unidentified targets without any captions, but locations shown on the video will correspond to the location on Kharg Island. And President Donald Trump says the U.S. will soon begin escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz to protect them from Iranian attack.
Mr. President, when will the Navy start escorting tankers to the Straits of Hormuz? Right.
A new report claims that President Trump turned down an offer from his Russian counterpart to transfer Iran's uranium to Russia as part of deal to end war. Axios reported that Putin made the proposal in a phone call with Trump earlier this week. Trump turned Putin down, the report said, citing unnamed sources familiar with the matter. Iranian strikes in Saudi Arabia reportedly damaged 5 U.S. Air Force refueling planes. A Wall Street Journal report citing 2 U.S. officials say that 5 U.S. Air Force refueling planes were struck and damaged on the ground at Prince Sultan Air Base. The report said that the planes were damaged but not fully destroyed and are being repaired, adding that no one was killed in the strikes. And blasts were heard in Doha early Saturday after Qatar's Interior Ministry said it was evacuating some key areas. Reports say that interceptors over the Qatari capital's downtown area downed 2 projectiles. And earlier, Qatari authorities evacuated parts of Doha's Mishreb district, which includes government offices as well as a Google office. Iran fired several ballistic missile salvos at Israel, causing damage at several sites. A siren sounded across Israel 6 times on Friday, sending millions running for shelter. Now, there were no reports of injuries, and the IDF said it was investigating the circumstances that led to the impacts. The United States appears to be reinforcing its West Asia deployment by sending an amphibious assault ship and Marines to the region, the Wall Street Journal reported. CNN reported that the Marines involved are an expeditionary unit, which typically counts 2,500 Marines and sailors. I want to discuss the situation furthermore from New Delhi. We are now being joined live by Dr. Wael Awad, a senior international journalist and political analyst. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. We'll start with the Gulf states. Now, the situation in Gulf states. Iraqi security officials confirmed that drone strike on U.S. embassy in Baghdad. And since the beginning of the war, we have seen multiple attacks on U.S. embassies in other countries, in the other Gulf states as well. There's also attacks on oil infrastructure. At this moment, how far can these Gulf states go depending or relying on the U.S. for protection? Well, there seems to be some technical issues right there, but of course we're talking about the war situation where we have some developments. Now, according to Iraqi security sources, the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad was targeted in a drone strike, following which smoke was seen rising from complex. And this comes shortly after 2 Iranian backfires were killed in strikes on Iraq's capital. Another development, Donald Trump has said that the U.S. bombed every military target on Iran's Kharg island. And the U.S. president further said that he has chosen not to wipe out the oil infrastructure on the island for now, for reasons of decency. All right, there had to be some technical issues. Dr. Wael Awad is now joining us. He's a senior international journalist and political analyst. If you could just hear me again. What I wanted to ask was on the Gulf states and the situation there. We have seen attacks on U.S. embassies, on oil infrastructures. At this point, how far do you think will the Gulf states go relying on U.S. protection? And will we see any offenses in the coming days? Because this war doesn't seem to be abate anytime soon.
Well, I think it's going beyond the regional borders and it's taking a wider dimension, especially with the attack on the Kharg island of Iran, which is the main spine of the Iranian oil export in the Gulf region. So therefore, if the United States, as per President Trump, says that he will carry on more attack, especially on this island, which is can take more than 7 million barrels reservoir, and Iran export 1.6 million barrels a day from that island, that means Iran will retaliate against any target, especially the oil installation in the region. That means also we will have a surge of the oil in the market, and that will be more an outcry in the world about what is the objective, after all, of the United States seriously in this war, after start targeting civilian target, not only the military target.
And also, Donald Trump is not just warned of attacking these sites. He's also said that he will now start escorting Navy ships. The U.S. Navy will start escorting ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and he's also obviously thinking about attacking Kharg as as a warning that he said that if at all Iran does not or stops any ships from transferring or traveling in the Strait of Hormuz, he will attack the oil facilities. And when Trump says that he will have the U.S. Navy's escort ships, do you think that is a risk he's taking, or do you think he's confident in or in his threat to Iran at this point?
Well, I think it is just a service lips speaking, because we don't know Trump seriously when he speaks, and then they are provoking him so that he go and give the instruction to the military to carry on with the attack, whatever he says, whatever his advisor or ill advisor are giving him. Because in any case, these are rhetoric. Nowhere that the United States will be in a position to escort the oil from that Strait of Hormuz. Leave aside the danger of the American warships entering that site. The United States, till date, they are firing at Iran around from a 1,000 kilometers distance, because the American warship have been attacked, and one of them is already gone to the Mediterranean Sea. It has been attacked and out of service. So therefore, I don't think the United States is going to take any risk of an American at this moment of doing any escort. He said when the time comes. I think what the Americans trying now to say is that they are trying to send the ground forces and amphibious forces which can go into the side of the Iranian shore and ensure that these can be permanently positioned. In military speaking, it's very difficult if the war is on for America either to put a foot on the ground currently or even to escort the ships.
And when you talk about foot on the ground, you said that, of course, is difficult at this moment. But then the end goal, what Trump has been speaking about is, do you think regime change is something that he is going for? And do you think that there'll be a time where he will be putting boots on ground? Because consider the fact right now, Iran is retaliating every day. Iran has been stretching this for so long. It doesn't seem that it's going to abate any longer. Do you think Trump will consider boots on ground going forward?
Look, first of all, let us remember that this war is illegal and a violation of all international law and UN Charter, and everybody knows that this is carried out by the American and the Israelis and under the pretext of nuclear issues, and then it turned out to be a regime change. Now, because of the American president has been ill-advised, as I said, they told him that Netanyahu, who forced his hand into this operation, that he informed him that it will be like Venezuela, just a surgical strike, kill the top leaderships, the government, the people will uprise in the street, and there will be a coup in Iran, and then we can have a friendly government that will be able to sell all the Iranian oil in dollars. That's not the issues here. The issues here is the infrastructure of Iran. It is the ballistic missile technology, the scientists, and disintegration of the Iran, balkanizing of Iran. So since the American and Israeli attack failed in even seeing any person in the street opposing to the government currently, so there is no question of revolt. So therefore, the break within Iran has not happened. So that's why the United States and Israel are desperately trying to make life very painful for the Iranian people by attacking civilian targets, by attacking reservoir war storage and all these things. And many of the families whom we are getting calls from them desperately, maybe once or twice since the war started because of the internet disconnection, that they are in desperate living in danger, even sleeping inside the bathrooms because of the war, because of the bombing, and that's attacking civilian areas. And many civilians have been killed. So I don't think the Americans seriously knows what is the strategy, the exit strategy for this war. And that's why American president keep on talking that he is going to, Iranian are coming, Iranian will surrender. That is not going to happen. He doesn't understand the culture of the Iranian. They are fighting a war of survival, and they know that the American have imposed this war, and they will keep on fighting till the American come in terms with the Iranian.